Your court television news starting now.
Yo! Sorry, man. This shit feels so good on my head, and it's still so early in the morning, y'all. Just give me about 5 more seconds. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you exactly what this is. Give me 1 more second. Okay. All right. Sorry, y'all. I got to work on my beauty sleep, okay? As it is, I hardly get any. So, some of you are wondering what the hell was on my face. Shout out to my friend, oh no, for getting me this lovely eye massager / heated little towel thing / brrrr, and it plays music off your Bluetooth, so you can play some of that little meditation stuff going on. Thank you. I love it, my friend. And thanks for the great color you picked out, too. It's so me. But welcome, everybody. Good morning. Oh, shh. I'll be quiet. I know it's still early, especially my friends on the West Coast, okay? So for those that are just waking up, I won't get too hyped up, even though we just got, and I'm giving you an earbud warning. Oh, and I still have a little pain, but I don't care. A $50 super chat to start us off this morning, and I just woke up my parents, so I hope they weren't trying to get some sleep. Thank you to Spirit in the Sky Blue. And sorry, it could have been Spirit in the Blue Sky, but you get it. Let me get that up here. Happy holidays, NJ. Spirit in the Sky Blue, same back to you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas coming up and a happy new year, my friend. This gavel slam definitely goes out to you. Oh, shit. Look at this. I'm already making messes. I already got my hot chocolate all over my table. Shit. All right. Okay. All right. Forewarning, if an angry lady comes running in here and starts using obscene language at me, I already gave you a earbud warning, all right? Because it's going to be obscene. And you know what? Since we're talking about donations and we're just going to get this show started the right way, I want to say thank you. Thank you to Anonymous, and you know who you are. Now, we have a lot of Anonymouses, so it's not the same Anonymous. But this Anonymous, after the last live stream was over, and between this live stream coming on, an anonymous donation of another $50 came through. And this was specifically for the road trip. And as a matter of fact, let me get this ticker and this banner updated. And if some of you have not heard the news, the NJCourts TV channel will officially be starting the MGL coverage. We already did, okay? MGL stands for Michelle Goes Live, a.k.a. Michelle Sabate, okay? I'm sure some of y'all know who she is. But anyways, we started or announced that just the last live stream. And we also made an announcement that this channel will be providing as much live coverage as we can of this individual's upcoming arraignment, which is going to be coming up on February the 7th for the DUI that they received over the Thanksgiving holiday. So let's update this banner, shall we? Okay, so I already updated. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's for our drone, which we're still working on that fund. I didn't forget, and I have that money saved up as well, too. Here we go. This is the correct one right here. This is for the attending MGL hearing in Georgia court case goal. And from our last live stream and from many of you awesome supporters and contributors, we already started off just from our first day of fundraising of a $215 of said goal, which I'm going to be working on here this weekend coming up. Prices on tickets, whether it's through a bus, whether it's through plane, and all those other things. So that way I can set what approximately it will come out to be just for some of those travel expenses, which is what we're fundraising for. So with the $50 that we received today from our generous donator, oops, let me get this out of the way. Spirit in the Sky, I always want to mess this up. Spirit in the Sky Blue, not Spirit in the Blue Sky, excuse me. And from our other anonymous donator, that puts us at an additional $100 to add to this goal. So let me just update this super quick. And I got some breaking news for you. Don't worry. This isn't just a dono bait, okay? I promise. It's coming up right now. All right. So let's get this. Whoop. Let's go here. We are now, instead of 215, we are at 315. So thank you again so much for our supporters of this fundraiser goal. It is much appreciated. And as always, all donations 100% go right back into this channel. This is what pays for these road trips to go to these court case hearings. This is what pays for a lot of these programs, just like we're using here, StreamYards, okay? We've got the premium. That's what allows us to StreamYard as much as we can and not have to use multiple emails and all that weird scammy stuff like, our little buddy Skiwi used to do, all right? So again, I appreciate everybody's support and especially all you jury members. Yes, I see you out there. Spam them if you got them. Let me see those. Gavel, 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 gavel time. All right. Now, I am still injured, okay? I owe now like 3 crab dances, so we're going to have like just a crab dance out partay on the haters. So we're going to have that coming up shortly because this arm's definitely got to be stopping hurting soon, all right? I hope, all right? Now, it's worked its way from the back. Now it's just right here, so I think it's kind of going away, but who knows? But until then, I'm not going to be crab dancing because I don't want to tweak it again. But as soon as I do feel like it's better, we're going to have a crab dance extravaganza. I promise, my friends. All right. So without further ado, let's get right into the breaking news. As a matter of fact, today, I'm hoping, now I can't promise, but I'm hoping after this morning's broadcast, I'm hoping I'll be back in about another hour and a half to provide you another broadcast. And that is going to be the actual filming of the Skimask Andy arraignment hearing that is going to be going on at 9 a.m. his time, which he is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay? I believe they call that Central Time, if I'm not mistaken. So it is about, 7:30 in Central Time, so about 1.5 hours. Skimask Andy is going to be sitting pretty in a court bench, not at court. Most likely it's going to be at the jail that he's at currently, just like he did at his bond hearing. And through a Zoom hearing or Zoom type of virtual hearing, we will have some type of arraignment go on, and we're going to learn a lot. Because something has happened between the last time we gave the update on the bond hearing and today. Today is the arraignment for Skimask Andy, okay? For all this shit that he's been in trouble for, all this stuff he was running from, he faces the judge today to start pretty much facing what type of punishment or sentence he's going to be getting for not doing any of the things he was supposed to do originally, like probation, paying off of his court fines and fees of over $5,000, going to anger management classes, okay? Paying off a traffic ticket for just simply not having registration, all right? So let's just roll right into it, okay? Because I think this is a perfect segue into the breaking news update for this morning. And before I do that, let me just get my chat all set up here so I can see everybody and see what everybody is talking about this morning. Oh, I can see all the members of the jury. Good to see you, my friends. And cheers to you guys. I don't drink coffee, so I just got a little hot cocoa. Like, not hot cocoa. What do you call it? Chocolate milk. Simple chocolate milk, which is one of my favorites. So cheers to all my coffee drinkers. Hey, and some of y'all, if it's your Friday, hey, cheers to you as well. Oh, just got some of that on my man, this chocolate milk's getting everywhere this morning. Hold on. Wipe it off my phone here. All right. So this one's going to be pretty interesting. All right. So for those of you that want to fact check me, like I always say, you can fact check me by going to the OSCN.net website, which is going to stand for Oklahoma State Court Networks. All right. That's where we've got pretty much 99.9% of a lot of our information about Skimask Andy, all of his past, current, and present court hearings. Okay. Hold on. Past, present, current. I think present, current are the same. I think I meant future and current. Anyways, whatever, you get it. So let me just go ahead and just pretty much show you exactly what I'm looking at. So this morning when I went to go check on his update, just to see, double check when his court date was going to be, court time, which courtroom number it was going to be, I noticed there was a new docket note. And I was like, what? Actually, there was a couple of new docket notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the breaking news docket note. okay? Why I'm having this update so early in the morning, why I woke you guys up, especially my buddies on the West Coast, all right? And again, I thank you for being here this morning, everybody. But the reason I woke you up also early is because something very important has happened. There's a new charge that has been added to the slew of charges that Skimask Andy is now facing, pretty much, as far as what he's going to be facing as far as punishment for not showing up to court or doing any of his probation. But now he's facing a new charge, okay? And this has a lot to do with him pretty much just not paying back anybody for the last 15 plus years. This has to do with him never doing taxes, okay? Even though he makes plenty of money getting donations, which if you don't think any of those platforms like Cashapp, PayPal, you don't think they send you out a little tax statement every year? Oh, they do. You have to claim those taxes. All right. So 15, 20 years has just been building up of this guy just never paying taxes, never paying back the courts. And here's what's happened. Here's what finally happened. Now, does this have to do with just timing? Does this have to do with the fact that they just finally got him, incarcerated? I have no clue at this point. We're going to find out more. Hopefully this morning we'll find out a lot more. But let me show you exactly what I'm looking at here. Okay, present, share screen. Here we go. All right, let me just make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Yep. Okay, let me get this off of here. All right, so that way you guys can see better. All right, so what you guys are looking at are going to be pretty much the docket notes for a new charge. Okay, I'm going to start here from the top. So this new charge was filed yesterday, okay, November the 29th, 2023. If you look over here on the top right-hand corner, you can see the filing date. You can see the new charge, as far as the number here, case number. It is a criminal misdemeanor. That's why it starts with the CM. Okay, you see here on the left-hand side, State of Oklahoma versus DeCo, David Lee. All right, so we've got the right person that we're talking about. Looks like this is going to be involving also the Tulsa Police Department as what they call the arresting agency. And here we go. Here's the new count. Count one, and I'm going to read this out for everybody. If you're on your phone and you want to get a better view of this, I suggest you go from vertical mode to horizontal mode and then put it on that full screen, and you should have no problem seeing what I'm reading to you right now. All right? So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the new count that was filed as of yesterday's date. Count number one, count as filed. RT5, failure to pay taxes due to state in violation of 47 Oklahoma State statute number, date of offense 11/22/2023. So it was filed yesterday, but they're calling the date of offense 11/22/2023. All right. Now, if you go to the docket notes at the bottom, you'll see right there from 11/29/2023 when this was filed, we now have a criminal misdemeanor initial filing. And then underneath that, it says defendant David Lee DeCo was charged with count number one, failure to pay taxes due to state in violation. And then we just went over that number. And actually, let's click on that really quick. I'm curious to see. Okay, see, we're going to learn a little bit more. Yep, there you go. So this looks like it has to do with the possibly the registration. Let's see here, because it's bringing me over to something under the Motor Vehicles Act, Oklahoma Vehicle License and Registration Act. So like I said, I'm not going to sit here and try to make up, figure out where this new charge stems from, because we're going to find out here pretty soon, probably this morning when he gets arraigned for all this stuff. Check DMs. I will, definitely. One moment. Sorry, my notifications are like on silent mode. Yep, so that makes sense. The charge is because he hasn't paid taxes on his car tag. Cool. So that's why I'm glad we clicked on that. Thank you so much, Texas Rose. So that's what it looks like based on this. But the boy, not lying, has not paid taxes in the last 15 years. You can go through the OSCN.net records here. You start from, just go from his most recent. You'll see in the docket notes every year where around this time, they try to garnish his taxes to pay off some of that $5,000 he owes in court fines and fees, and they never can garnish it. It's a failure because he never files his taxes. But in this case, and that kind of makes sense, especially because it has that date, a specific date, which, let's see here. Let's do this. I guarantee you, if we go here, let's see if we got anything from the 22nd. Let's go to his case here for the traffic ticket. So this is based on what we're reading here. This is what this should be stemming from. Let's see here. Bench warrant issued, failure to appear. So we had already announced that news because he obviously didn't. Well, no. Hold on. Oh, shit. I'm getting confused with the court cost hearing. This is the third bench warrant now. Yep, they finally issued it. Sorry, I'm licking my milk like a cat. All right, so, yeah, we've got some more breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We've now discovered, hey, thank you guys. We've now discovered that we've got a third bench warrant that was just issued. As a matter of fact, let's see when they issued that. That was yesterday. Damn. So, for some of you that are just wanting a little quick summary on the bench warrants, the first bench warrant he got was from failure to show up to his probation, okay? That's where they, that warrant has been served pretty much twice, okay? The first time was when we saw the video of them breaking down his parents' door, okay? Then he got bonded out, all right? And then he picked up some other charges. He didn't show up to any of the probation, okay, which they had already, busted it down his door for and put him in jail, but he got bonded out. He didn't show up to his other court cases as part of that being bonded out. So then now he had the bonding agency looking for him. He had the police looking for him. And that's when he was just, again, arrested this last time. Now, when they arrested him pretty much just about on one bench warrant. And that's why this morning I'm hoping to find out more, because on those bond hearings, unfortunately, and it's shitty, man. I'm telling you, whatever's going on in that Tulsa justice system is really fucked up, because according to what I heard on that bond hearing, they pretty much only caught him on one of the bench warrants, which was for the probation. Okay. But in reality, he's got now at that time, he had 2 bench warrants. Now he's got 3. And I'm pretty damn sure they're going to see this third one. But the second one, that one came from the court costs. Okay, pretty much court cost hearing, you can call it. That's pretty much where he went to a judge that's specifically assigned for this, okay, to listen to people that owe money to the courts. And he was given a payment plan, okay, to pay over this $5,000 he owes. All right, and it was literally just $20 a month is all he had to pay. He never made one payment, okay? They gave him like 6 months, almost a half a year to make a payment before they finally said, well, what the hell? And then they issued out a warrant for his arrest. So at the time he got arrested and went to that bond hearing, he technically had 2 bench warrants. Now he picked up, as of yesterday, a third bench warrant. All right. And that's what we just seen right now. And that has to do for him not paying his pretty much for not having registration. He got a ticket for that. He didn't show up to court. He didn't even pay the fine online. Okay, Mr. Moneybags here. And now he picked up a third bench warrant, which, if he had still been out running away from all this shit, he'd be laughing right now, right? He'd already cranked up his stream and said, fuck the police, fuck the DEA, whatever. Yeah, well, it's not so funny anymore, because now he's incarcerated, okay? And now he has to pretty much answer to all these bench warrants, okay? So we'll see what happens. And that's why I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to get today's arraignment. Again, I always say I don't ever want to promise, but every time we pretty much came through. So I want to give it about a 90% chance that I will have it. If either way, I'll have an update to what happened today for sure. But I'd like to get it just like we did with the bond hearing, where we could visually see it. So if I can obtain that, I'm definitely going to be coming back here probably at around 9:30. Well, actually, that'd be 11:30 Eastern time. And as soon as that hearing's done, as soon as I get it, I'll be coming back on another breaking news update to present that footage with you. And hopefully we're going to learn more from that. Okay. But as of this morning, the breaking news, why I woke you guys up so early, was to let you know, one, well, now we found out he's got a bench warrant, but that's not what I was going to let you know. Okay. What I was waking you up to let you know about, let me just in case you forgot, let me go back here again. Was to share the news that he's been charged with a new charge, and that is now failure to pay taxes. So, and now we've learned that that has to do with his registration, which has to stem from the ticket that he didn't pay, that he didn't show up to, which they've now issued a bench warrant for. So, in addition to issuing out that bench warrant for that traffic ticket, they've now charged him with failure to pay taxes. A lot of news. Oh, sorry. Let me get the, I forgot to have the banner going on there. So again, thank you so much for all our supporters this morning. Much appreciated. And I said, I owe all you guys a huge crab dance extravaganza, which we'll have one scheduled here pretty soon. As soon as this injury is over with, we will crab dance on the haters, my friends. We will have an evening of crab dancing. Good morning, Bamaka. Good morning, A Nightmare on Your Street. Good morning, Sicilian Princess. Good morning. Oh, no. Good to see all my mods this morning. Thank you for your service here at the NJCourts TV channel. Mustard Squirrel, good morning. Butterfly Kisses, good morning. Jethro, good morning. Think 580, good morning. Dixie Enormous, good morning. Stinky Pinky, good morning. Hobby Hater, good morning. Yep, always talk to big one, Hobby Hater, and we'll see what he's talking today. We'll see how he's talking today. Dawson, good morning. Another member of the mod squad. Cry a little bit, good morning. Mary T, good morning. Deanna, good morning. Bell, good morning. Spirit in the Sky, Blue. Good morning, my friend. And again, thank you for your support today. Cameron, good morning. Juan's Casa de... Good morning. Man, y'all and some of your names crack me up. Ann Boylan, good morning. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Cameron, I don't know if I already said good morning, but good morning again if I didn't. Don't ban me. Don't worry. Good morning. All right, Ray, 1144, good morning. Oop, I hear Papa Court's coming in like a bear. But he usually wakes up at this time, so I don't think it has to do with me. Good morning, B-Legend. Good morning, Perfectly Imperfect. What up, Subaru, for another member of the Mod Squad? Trevor Leahy, good morning. Tulsa Grinder vs. Bottom, good morning. XO, good morning. Kelval, good morning. Jake, good morning. Texas Road, good morning. John Jacobs, good morning. Living Life Just Me Too, good morning. Zen, good morning, my friend. So it is about, let's see here, it's going to be about 7 o'clock my time. It's going to be about 8 o'clock Skimask time. 1 more hour. T-minus 59 minutes until he will be facing the judge this morning, pretty much to answer to all these charges, all these bench warrants he has out for him, okay? Yeah, he's got bonds on pretty much. So Dixie Enormous, definitely. That's why I'm very interested to see what's going to be said today, because they missed, like I said, they didn't even talk about, which that would have came with a bond, was for the fact that he had the bench warrant for the court cost hearing, okay, to failure to pay on any of those court fees. Literally had a bench warrant issued out. He should have had a charge for that with the bond. So I'm hoping we're going to hear about that this morning, okay? He's going to have a bond amount for the obstruction of an officer charge. He's going to have a bond amount for the revocation of revocation of probation, which just means he didn't show up to probation. I think it's something else, but you guys follow me. That's going to have a separate bond charge. This new charge for failure to pay taxes, that's going to have a charge, bond charge. The registration, not paying his registration ticket, that's going to have a new bond charge. Bell, what you missed was, well, what we just found out, which wasn't the breaking news update, was as of yesterday, he had a third bench warrant issued out, and that had to do with him not paying the fine for his, or showing up to court and paying the fine for his not having registration ticket that he got, okay, for no proof of registration. And the breaking news update, why I woke you guys up this morning, was it showed as of yesterday, they filed a new charge, okay, that stems from the date of November the 22nd, okay, that's based on the docket notes, but it was filed yesterday, that they're now charging him with a new charge of failure to pay taxes. And we just found out that that failure to pay taxes has to do with not paying the registration, okay? So I'm hoping to find out a lot more about that this morning. And if all goes well, we should have hopefully a video that will be playing from that hearing. Now, don't forget, y'all, remember from the original, all this shit stems from the charge, the assault battery charge on his mom and brother, right? Now remember, what they had him do was they dismissed the assault and battery charge on his mom, which was a felony, and they made him plead guilty to the assault battery charge on his brother, which was a misdemeanor, okay? Now, that misdemeanor came with 90 days in jail, but in lieu of that, he got lucky, okay? They gave him probation. Probation just consisting of going to regular probation, checking with a probation officer, essentially, showing up to anger management classes that he had to register for, probably could have done online, okay? And making the payments that he owed of over $5,000 for all his past court fines and fees and the current ones that he picked up, okay? So that's where most of this all stems from, okay? So he didn't do any of that probation. He didn't show up to anger management class. He didn't make not one payment for any of those fees, okay? So they issued out a warrant for his arrest. And that's when originally that video that we've premiered here where you see his parents' door being knocked down, okay, remember that? That had to stem from that first warrant, okay? They arrested him, but he was bonded out, okay? He showed up to a couple of the hearings to have to do with that probation, and then the third one, he didn't show up anymore. So at that point, they issued out a failure to appear bench warrant, okay? His bondsman was now looking for him because he failed to appear, and now the bondsman was going to have to pay the money. Oh, and actually, that reminds me. So these notes here, I've had a lot of people asking me about what are these notes, and I know we talked about this briefly, but I want to just talk about them again. That way I can kind of clear some of this because I think just misunderstanding of some of these docket notes. So let me just jump over that real quick before I forget. So I believe this had to do with this case here. This is the probation, not showing up to his probation case. Yes, here we go. Just make sure you guys are seeing the same thing I am. All right, perfect. So if you go to the bottom here, there was these notes. I'll start with the first one here. One was like 11/28. Bondsman notice. Okay, that wasn't actually the first one. This started actually, here we go, November 15th, 2023. Motion to set aside bond forfeiture and exonerate bond, okay? And there's a piece of paper that we all looked at, okay? And what it was saying, and this is what I explained to everybody that day, was all this was just a motion that the bond company put, okay, filed to the courts, pretty much requesting that they get the money back for Skimask not showing up to his court hearing because the court had actually forfeited that money, okay, because he didn't show up, all right? But here's the thing is, they were trying to claim because, and again, we've now learned that this was most likely a typo because he didn't show up to his restraining order hearing, okay? They saw that in the note for that hearing that it said, defendant was present, okay? So they were trying to claim that because he was there, even though he wasn't incarcerated, because he showed up to that court date, that they should get that money back, okay? Well, one, that's BS because he wasn't incarcerated, okay? And two, that restraining order hearing had nothing to do with the hearing, the case that they had bonded him out on. All right. But they still probably like a Hail Mary, just, to see if they can get their money back. They put the motion in. Now, the motion was granted, but it was already going to be granted because they did actually incarcerate him. They pretty much had, I think, up until like mid-December to pretty much either have him in jail or the bondsman bring him in jail, okay? And if he wasn't, they for sure were not going to get that money back, okay? Now it looks like they are, and that's why you see these new notes. Bond 11/28/2023. Judge Tanya Wilson, motion to set aside bond forfeiture and exonerate bond signed by the court. That's when she was now approving that. But here's why. Bondsman noticed defendant return to custody after bond forfeiture. Order set aside forfeiture and exonerate bonds. Bonds already exonerated. So this one right here, 11/29/23. That order is already, they were already exonerated because he has been incarcerated, okay? So those bondsmen didn't know that at the time when they submitted this back in November 15th. They were hoping they were going to get their money back because supposedly he showed up to that restraining order hearing. But in all reality, come to the future now, they didn't know he was going to get arrested, okay? They're probably hoping, okay, either by the police or them, and he was. So they got their money back. So that's what all this little mumbo jumbo stuff about bondsmen and bond forfeiture and all that has nothing to do with him. Has nothing to do with this cases. He's, as of right now, he is still incarcerated. So I just wanted to clear some of that up, and I could have done a better job at that, but I think most of y'all can understand what I was trying to convey here, which is just has nothing to do with him. All right. So I hope that cleared some of that up for some of y'all that had questions in regards to that. What else? Oh, where were we talking about? Oh, we were just talking about, his charges and the bonds and, everything and where this all stemmed from. So we talked about him, the second we worked all the way up to the timeline of him getting out on bond. You remember they kicked in his door. He got arrested. He bonded out. And then he picked up a few other charges while he was bonded out. He didn't show up to the case anymore after he was bonded out. He was supposed to show up to the hearings having to do with him not showing up to probation. He showed up to a couple and then he stopped, okay? And that's when they issued out the warrant again, okay? Boop. And that's when they dropped that bond. It was no more good, okay? Then he picked up the warrant for failure to paying the court cost hearing, for not paying the $5,000. And then he just picked up this new warrant, okay, which was obviously we've just learned today has to do with him now owing taxes having to do with the registration that he didn't pay, okay? So a lot of this sounds silly, and it is, because in reality, a lot of this could have just been avoided by just one showing up to court, doing his probation. Remember, he wasn't even going to jail originally, okay? All he had to do was go to probation. And he managed to fuck that up. And because, he wanted to run around and for whatever reason, instead of just manning up, showing up to court and saying, hey, I want to fix all this shit. I mean, you guys realize this guy's probably not even going to be facing maybe about a year or less, to clear all this shit up in Oklahoma. Don't forget, y'all, he still got open warrants, bench warrants in New Jersey, bench warrants in Nevada, supposedly one in LA or California. So this is just trying to clear up his shit in Oklahoma. Like they say, don't shit where you piss at. I think that's how it goes. I'm sorry. But, if you're going to be leeching on at mommy and daddy's home for the rest of your life, you might as well have no charges so you're not doing this shit every day. Did you guys hear that? Oh, you know what I mean? So, again, for those people that are saying, oh, man, you guys are haters. You guys are this. No, honestly, this is probably the best thing that could have happened to him right now. This is something that he couldn't force himself to do. Now he has no option, and it really is going to be the start of him clearing up all this mess so that he could just move on with his life. So that, like I've said before, maybe he hopefully become a real father to his child. So maybe he can stop harassing and terrorizing his family like he has been the last 20 plus years. Okay. Guy's 40 years old. You're not going to get too many chances to change your life at this point. So we'll see. Or is he just going to come out like every other time he's done a little jail stunt and be the same shithead, that he's proven to been, okay? Gotten in trouble again. And remember, these are, this guy, he although he tries to, make himself appear like he's some like hard thug criminal, this guy, all these charges, if you actually just go down and write down each one and see what they are, literally all this guy does is just assault women, family members, and break things when he's pissed off. That's what's literally got him in all this trouble that he's in, is for those things I've just listed. Okay. He ain't no gangbanger, distributing drugs, murder one, getting in some fight. No. This guy, all he does is just beat on women, his family, and break things when he's pissed off. Okay. That's why he's in the trouble he's in right now. And because he didn't even show up to simple misdemeanor cases, didn't pay, a simple $20 a month fee, for 20 plus years, because that's what, he said, that's all I can afford is $20 a month. So they said, hey, that's fine, but you're going to be paying, $5,000 at $20 a month. Do the math, okay? It's almost like paying off a mortgage. But hey, it was a start, right? And he didn't even, he screwed that up. So honestly, I think this is his last chance at life. Again, I'm nobody to say that. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not God. I'm not the judge. But, if he was to ask me, hey, NJ, you think this is my last time to fix my life? I'd probably say, you know what, David? Yeah, I'm going to say it probably is one of your last chances you're going to get before, you're either going to get hurt, you're going to get locked up for a really long time, So there you go, folks. What do we got? It's 8:08 his time, so we're looking about 50 minutes. Man, I keep wanting to say hot chocolate. This chocolate milk is delicious. I can't put it down. All right. So I think we broke in the news that we wanted to break this morning. I will be coming on here in about an hour and a half to give you guys an update as to what happened during today's arraignment for David DeCou. I said it correctly, or AKA Skimask Andy. Again, we've already, and for those of you that just want a quick reminder, here you go. We brought you just about a week ago, if that, the bond hearing from Skimask Andy. So I'll play that for you guys just in case you'd like a little, refresher of what happened that day. And today's date was the next date that the judge assigned for him. And that's what we're waiting on to see what happens next. We did just learn today that he picked up, as of yesterday, a new charge, which was having to do with failure to pay taxes. And that had to stem from him not paying the ticket for failure to have registration on his vehicle, which is now pretty much, we also found out today, because of all that, because of this failure to pay the ticket for failure to have registration. I know that's a lot of failures. They've now issued out a bench warrant. So this now makes 3 bench warrants, okay, that he's had issued for him. The first one was for not showing up to probation. The second one was for not making one single payment for that $5,000+ he owes. That came from the court cost hearing. And then the third one, which they just issued out yesterday, which we just found out today. That wasn't even the breaking news update. And it looks like they issued out a bench warrant, and that has to stem with, again, him not making a payment or showing up to his date for failure to having registration. You guys making a joke about my coffee, Ono? I see there. Yeah, I didn't catch it. You guys are lucky. Sometimes I'm not very good at reading chat. I try my best, but sometimes I get zoned in on when I'm talking. So it's like I just look every once. I try to look like every 10 seconds is what I try to teach myself, but I don't catch everything. So I'll have to watch the chat replay. You very, very sneaky, you all. I'm just kidding. So without further ado, let's play that bond hearing for y'all. Again, this is not from today. Okay. I'm hoping to be providing you that footage just like we did with the bond hearing here in about an hour and a half. Okay. But here is the bond hearing for those that missed it. I'll start from the beginning and I will zip it. And then we'll discuss it a little bit once we're done.
Mr. Decaux, you are here. Well, you were stopped probably, well, I see for an expired tag, but they discovered that you had two outstanding cases. One, a failure to appear for an application to revoke in a felony case, and that's a $1,500 bond, and failing to appear for obstructing an officer from 2023. That's this year. $1,500 bond. Your expired tag is $200. Sir, the court is, since these are failure to appears, I am not going to change your bonds on these. I am going to set you for arraignment November 30th at 9 o'clock.
That's a misdemeanor. Those are both misdemeanors, by the way. It's not a felony. It's not a felony.
Well, the application to revoke.
It's a misdemeanor.
That is not the information that the court has today.
I'm letting you know it's incorrect information. They had to change it at the jail.
Okay, you know, that'll all be worked out once you come back on the 30th and you get an attorney assigned for you. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, Andrew Ford.
All right, there you go. Just about, a couple of minutes. So again, we didn't hear anything having to do with him having the bench warrant for failure to make the payments on the $5,000 plus that he owes, which they issued out a warrant. Okay. That should have had another separate bond. They did issue out. It was, I think just either $250 or $500. Okay. Which would have been added to the amount that he was facing. So I'm hoping they catch all that stuff, especially since they just, issued out a third bench warrant yesterday. And again, this is just a bond hearing. This next hearing today, the arraignment, you should have a public he might have a public defender there, not sure, or he's going to be requesting one. Because remember, he still hasn't been tried for the charge of obstructing an officer, and now the new charge that he picked up yesterday. Okay, so he still has a right to a public defender if he's going to need one, or to be represented by an attorney for those charges. Okay, now in regards to his probation, the other things which he's already gone to court for and had chances to do, and he's already been sentenced and he just didn't do any of that, that's different. They might sentence him this morning to those 90 days. I don't know. We're going to find out hopefully this morning. But yes, he is facing jail time from the probation now, okay? Because remember, they gave him probation in lieu of the 90 days in jail. And he's picked up a whole bunch of other charges since then. And that's in addition to his already extensive criminal record, okay, which includes a lot of felonies and a lot of them having to do with the same type of charges that he's facing right now, okay? So I would say he's probably going to be in a little bit of trouble, okay? A lot more trouble than he would have been had he just shown up to his, had he just gone to probation. But even then, okay, say the first time they already knocked down his door, they arrested him, he bonded out. Remember, he had already gone to 2 of the hearings. He pretty much was almost done with that. And that's what he was afraid of. He was afraid that last hearing, that was going to be the one where they were going to clack hands behind your back. So he didn't show up. And then he said, I'll just run from them. Well, that didn't work out. So now, because of all that, he's now facing a lot more charges, a lot more fees and fines, and a lot more time now, all because of just not doing simple probation. So, yeah, and then for some people asking about his car, I don't have any verification, but I'm pretty sure it did get impounded, okay? And if that's the case, every day that it's sitting there in that impound lot, it's getting more charges added on, probably about 50 to 100. I don't even know what it would be in Oklahoma, but I'm going to say it's probably between $50 to $75 a day. That's for sure. So do the math. Plus, to get it out, you got a fee for that. You got the fee for them having to tow it to the impound lot. He's got to pay. Oh, and don't forget, to even get your vehicle out, you have to have proof that it's your vehicle, so registration or a title, and you've got to have proof of insurance, because they're not going to let you drive out a vehicle and get in an accident and then they're liable for it. So if you don't have any of those documents, you ain't pulling that car out. So don't forget that. So, and Dixie Normans, thank you for bringing that up because I was trying to remember what I was going to talk about. So when you hear that thing about the misdemeanor and the felony thing that he's arguing with her, here's where he's getting this wrong. And I'm hoping today we're going to find out more. Maybe I'm getting it wrong too. But the reason that it's showing it's back to a felony charge is because that's what it originally was. Remember, he was given a plea deal. And that's what David's forgetting because guy's mind's all over the place, okay? He's got so many charges. How can you even... of course he's going to be confused. All right. So what he's not remembering is as this was a plea deal they gave him. Okay. When they didn't charge him, for the assault on his mom, instead just assault on his brother. The original charges were a felony because it was a felony. It was a domestic assault and battery charge. And because it was domestic, meaning he hit a family member or his mom. Okay. That was a felony. And that was the one, if he would have had to plead guilty to that, he was looking at some years in jail. And he knew it. He had even said it. I think because he already has, and the reason being is he already has a domestic assault and battery charge on his record in Oklahoma, okay? And being that this would have been his second felony for domestic assault and battery, he was facing, I think, a minimum of like 5 years. And I might be wrong on that. But he was facing some jail time. But he lucked out, and they gave him a plea deal. And in part of that plea deal, they said, we'll dismiss the felony charge, but you got to plead to the misdemeanor assault and battery. Well, guess what? He didn't do any of the stuff he was supposed to, like the probation they gave him. It's just like a contract, right? You don't do what the contract says. Zip, zap, contract is torn. So that's probably what's happening here, ladies and gentlemen, is this might possibly go back to where he's going to be facing the charges of that. Again, I can't say that for sure. Hopefully we're going to learn more today, but that's most likely why the judge was referring to it as the way she did, as a felony. And he's going, no, that's a misdemeanor warrant, not a felony warrant. Just my opinion. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge, so I could be totally wrong. Sorry, got to do my little stretches. All right, so we got almost, I'm going to call it T-minus 30 minutes. It's about 8:18 his time. Supposed to crank out at 9 a.m. Usually in my experience with Oklahoma, probably be about 15 to 30 minutes after when they actually start. They do go alphabetically. Sometimes they'll start from the top, sometimes from the bottom. Hopefully they'll start from the top because then, David Deku, his name should be one of the first, probably 5 to 6 people that start off the day with the judge. But if they start the other way, it could be an hour before it's his turn to come up to the podium, as they say. So either way, like I said, if I can, again, I'm not promising anything. Okay, it's fingers crossed that I'll be able to obtain the same video that I did for you here on the bond hearing. But assuming that I can, as soon as I do, bum, 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 bum. Breaking news update coming up now. So as soon as I get it, I will definitely share it with you guys, okay? Either way, I'll come out with an update to let you know, hey, I didn't, and, here's what I think happened, or, waiting on the docket notes. Maybe the docket notes, usually they don't get updated right away. It usually takes a day, even sometimes 2 days. But all it takes is just a quick call to the court clerk's office and ask them, hey, what happened on today's trial regarding Skimask Andy, all right? NEO, so he supposedly has, well, not supposedly, it's right here. I'll show you guys. Actually, let me move this here so you guys can see bigger. So right here, I've got them right here. These are the warrants, the bench warrants for Nevada and New Jersey. I actually have the ones from Oklahoma here, but it's not going to be updated. This is when I was this was way back, made back from, geez, I can't even remember. It was the last time I was in Tulsa for his hearing. But anyways, let's see here. Let me find the ones for, okay, so here's Nevada. Sorry, I know it's going to be a little hard to see. So here's the one here, and here's the second one. And this is public information, so you guys can look this up. 1, 2 for Nevada. The ones from New Jersey are right here. That's Oklahoma. Yeah, New Jersey. That's these ones right here. 1 and 2. So those are 2 from New Jersey, 2 from Nevada. This is the one that was from Oklahoma when he had 1. Now he has 3 bench warrants. That's when he had 1. Okay. And supposedly he still has a warrant out for his arrest in California. And for some of you that don't remember, I'll tell you exactly what he has these warrants for. So in Nevada, he's got a bench warrant for receiving charges of harassment. He received another bench warrant for a second charge, and that was for domestic battery. Then in New Jersey, he's got 1 warrant for, oh, what do you know again? Harassment. And then another one for harassment, striking, offensive, touching, threats to. So, remember when I was telling you, this guy, tries to act like he's some hard thug that's, been in jail because, he's been gangbanging and all that. No, all it is for beating women, harassment, and breaking things when he's upset. That's it. And that's why he's afraid of jail. Because 1, he knows how they treat guys that beat women. He knows if any of these videos of him talking how he does when he does his racist rants, R-wording children, all the disgusting things he said, if that was ever to get wind of any of those videos in that jail, he'd be a target in like that. That's why he is horrified of going to jail. But again, remember, he's the one that put himself in that position and nobody else, himself. And again, remember, like Ono's saying, and a lot of you were saying earlier, this all just stems from going to a simple, very simple probation, which honestly, you know why he was afraid of it? I'm thinking because he thought they were going to drug test him and he wasn't going to be able to smoke and do his drugs. You know what? Being the fact that this charge was not related to any drug charges, there was a good possibility they probably weren't going to piss test him. They might have, they probably were, but there was a possibility he could have learned that they might have not. Either way, it was just simple probation. So what? You got to pass a piss test once a month for 6 months, maybe 3 months. Okay? He had to go to simple online anger management classes and just start a $20 to $25 a month payment. That's it. 2 of those things you could have done online. The other one, yeah, you might have had to check in with the probation officer once a month. And because of him not doing that, because he chose to just play this little game he wanted to play online, with his little woo crew or whatever the fuck these people were to him. Now he's found himself in the situation he's in, and it's serious, man. Shit is he's not liking that. You think he's enjoying his time right now? Hell no. He is nervous as fuck right now, waiting to find out what's going to happen here in about 30 minutes, especially after this new charge and new bench warrant. And they came up to him yesterday. Deku! Waking up from his little napping all day. Did my commissary come in? Nah. Sliding him his new papers underneath the little steel door or whatever. What's this? Oh, man. Yep. So that, I'm pretty sure yesterday he probably got the paperwork that he's now picked up new charges, okay? And he's got a bench warrant that was issued for those. So, like I said, we'll find out more here in a bit. Maybe it'll just be a very simple arraignment, and it'll be the next hearing that we'll have to wait for. I don't know. Again, unfortunately, with the way things go in Tulsa, it's really hard to say. It really is. And I'm sure most of y'all that have been following this case from the beginning to now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Exactly, Bell. That's why I always said, if those people truly were his friends or really cared for him, they would have encouraged him to go to court. They would have encouraged him not to run. They would have encouraged him to turn himself in. Instead, they were playing a game with him because they wanted simple entertainment. That's how disgusting and vile those last supporters were of his. They didn't give a shit about him. Now, he didn't even care about them either. It's a reciprocal type of feeling. But if he really thought those people care, absolutely not. They just wanted something to watch all day. That's it. So, they're just holding a dollar bill like a donkey with a carrot in front of it, just holding a dollar bill in front of them every day. Here you go, donkey boy, And I'm not saying, that's they're the reason he's in. No. He's the one that got himself in jail. But those people were never helping him at all. Okay. The real people that were caring for him or actually helped were his family, were the people that were telling him, hey, go get help. Maybe like what's her face? That whole thing he had with the somebody can help me in chat. Remember the people that he was going to go visit and that he it almost came to me. I'm having a brain fart. But, he did them and that whole family really bad. And I can tell you by, the communications I had with them, those people were very kind, nice people that they truly probably cared for him and his well-being. And because they did, look how he treated them. Woodstock. There you go. Woodstock. That whole incident with Woodstock and their family. Those were probably people that actually cared. And look what he did to them, right? All because all he cared about was that little dollar bill that this woo crew, those people nasty, like I said, people that just popped out of nowhere, never been in his chat, the last few months, those were his new supporters. And they're the ones that helped them run around and get pretty much, like I said, this is his fault, but they definitely helped. Absolutely. And he did wrong to all the people that actually did care about him. He kicked all those people to the curb. And why? All right, you guys, I'm going to get ready for this hearing that's coming up. Again, I cannot guarantee or promise that I'll be able to have that footage for you. Fingers crossed I will. But either way, I will give you guys an update here in the next hour and a half, okay? So I want to say thank you for everybody that's joined me this morning. Thank you for taking your time, especially everybody that joined me super early. We're about an hour into this live stream. We started about, 6:30 my time, would have been 5:30 on the West Coast, okay? So thank you again, all my West Coast friends. Everybody on the East Coast, you are already waking up. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys for getting up early with me. And I hope to see you guys here very shortly. I want to say thank you again to all our supporters that got us kicked off on our new fundraiser here for the travel expenses to attend the February 7th arraignment of MGL for her DUI hearing, okay? And I want to say an extra special thank you to our supporters today. Again, we had Anonymous, okay, that I think it was yesterday that sent over an anonymous $50 donation, okay? Thank you so much for your support. We had this morning Spirit in the Sky Blue with a $50 super chat that reads, Happy Holidays, NJ. And again, thank you so much for your continued support, my friend. And like I said, I do owe you guys plenty of crab dances for all this awesome support that we've gotten. And with that being said, as soon as this injury is over with, we will have a crab dance mother effing extravaganza. I can promise you. See, I got to stop yelling like that, because that's what strains my neck, because I'm like, ah. But anyways, like I said, going back to today's schedule, hopefully here in about an hour, I will be coming back live again with an update. Fingers crossed it'll be just like we saw in the bond hearing, another live video of that, of what happened. But either way, I'll be back with an update, okay? So I'm not going to say NJCourts is officially out, because I'm not for the day. I'm just going to say have a nice morning. Hope to see you guys in an hour. Love you guys. Keep your head on a swivel. Check that 6. And you know what? Take some time today to love somebody. All right, y'all. Peace, and hope to see you guys here in a bit. All right? Enjoy the rest of your morning.